to get one or two of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions. All of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best.
Any other regrets?
The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not a coward. But I do believe that a good working relationship is essential for any president of Liberia, or that president will fail.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy him pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. I'm buying him pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he said, he said, when you run for one term, he insisted it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Working for your stomach. Stop slipping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. You gotta whip out some more, yeah? Okay, let's go.
I'm filled with a profound sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together, in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, your partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro-poor housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years. To begin this, we must start with the facts of the transition. I must report to you that we are leaving behind a better economy than we inherited. Today, President-elect Joseph Nima Bouaka will inherit a stronger economy than I inherited. There is a bigger net international reserve position than was handed me in 2018. I inherited 94,999,000 United States dollars in net international reserves. And I am handing over to the next administration a net international reserve position of 222,700,000 United States dollars. This is 136% increase in the net international reserve position. The total cash balance in the government's consolidated account is United States $40,044,365.90. In 2018, my government inherited a consolidated cash position of $7 million United States dollars. The next administration thus has more resources to deal with emergency macroeconomic challenges than my administration had at its disposal in 2018. My fellow citizens, through our time together, I held still fast to two cornerstones of leadership: keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the root of our democratic journey. I am immensely proud that during my tenure, Liberia remained at peace with itself and at peace with its neighbor. Our armed forces, the force of good, were never turned against our own people, and external actions were confined to international peacekeeping mission under the United Nations. This peace, sustained by our own domestic resources, is a testament to the maturity and strength of our nation. We protected the inalienable rights of every Liberian citizen as enshrined in our Constitution. Freedom of speech, assembly, and expression were not only preserved, but celebrated. There were no political prisoners or prisoners of conscience during my entire term, a testament to the development of strong democratic institutions that are now not only hailed as competent and professional, but as trusted and credible. Liberia is now regarded as a pillar of democracy in West Africa and a shining example to the world. This was only made possible through our various collaborative efforts. I want to thank all Liberians, regardless of your political affiliation, for staying the course and helping build a stronger and more vibrant nation. As I step aside as president of Liberia, I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, in order to ensure the continuation of our strong and vibrant democracy. I therefore urge you, my fellow citizens, to continue to be law-abiding and seek peaceful means to resolve differences, embrace tolerance and dialogue. Let us love one another and come together as one people, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us remember the strength of our unity, the resilience of our democracy, and the hope that lies in the future of Liberia. As we welcome a new era, let us move forward hands in hand with a shared commitment to building a united nation that will continue to strive on observing the tenets of democracy and adhering to the rule of law. May God bless you all, and may God continue to bless the Republic of Liberia.
Those who go to speech in inauguration, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing of the effort to build a new regime. Then we sit down with happiness. We go write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's talking to me. Okay? You go there, I will tell you that show. I will tell you yes, I will bring one man for you. Because you think one man for you, I will tell you, I will tell you, that's not good.
When you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices. Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brandon Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and Armed Prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time of experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with a U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. And what happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up for your stomach. Stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. Sleeping now. You gotta wake up small, yeah? Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. You gotta wake up. You have to sit up. You have to listen. Listen, because the hard talker is here. The hard talker is back behind these microphones to interact with all of you on the different critical issues affecting or confronting our society. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora, our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight on the Monday's edition of the show. This is Freedom Money, Freedom Money Ras. This is Freedom Hard Talk on 87.9. This is Freedom FM. And we are broadcasting live from Carey Street in Monrovia, the Republic of Liberia. And this edition is the first edition of the show for the month of March. Today is the 3rd day of March 2025. My name is Austin Kawa. Too many things to talk about. Tonight we will play host to the leadership of the Supreme Motorcyclist Union of Liberia. They began a nationwide protest on today with many demands, and we have called them in to explain or narrate or interpret all of their demands, and they will come in here to sit with us as we quiz them on the different issues they raise today. Amongst those issues include a demand to the government to release the backs of all motorcyclists who were arrested, to also release all of their motorcyclists who were also arrested. They want the government to lift the ban placed on motorcycles applying the major streets in Monrovia. They have their own arguments and justification for that, and so we call them here to explain. Chokon Gray, alias Yellow Machine, will join us along with his team as we talk, as we go deeper into all of the activities, all of the comments, all of the statements, all of the controversies surrounding the ban on motorcycles. You may be aware the Police Inspector General has spoken. He said, hey, there will be no adjustments to the ban. And so it is the word of the Police Inspector General versus the Motorcyclist Union. Also, the Ministry of Transport issue a statement disclaiming, clarifying, distancing her knowledge. She says she does not know any group to be legally operating in the country called the Supreme Motorcycle Union of Liberia. We have the release. We are going to read the release. The Director of Communications at the Ministry of Transport will speak with us at 9 o'clock on all of these issues surrounding the ban of motorcycles in the country and their protests. All of these will take place at 9 o'clock. Before then, you know, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, some call him the embattled Speaker, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, was scheduled to appear today at the police headquarters for questioning or interrogation. And we are told that it is rescheduled to Wednesday, and it's because of the protest or the march of the motorcyclists today. And so Fonati Kofa has been rescheduled to appear before the police on Wednesday. The people lie to us. The government betray us. And in a related development, I'm sure all of you may have heard in the news or on different social media sites that the government, got the government unquote, has invited in country some firefighters from the US to come and investigate. We have a quotation from the police inspector general, which we're going to read for you. They said they have invited the guys to come and investigate to establish the cause of the incident. And provide a detailed analysis as to what may have led to the burning of the building. Some believe this is a contradictory statement or a contradictory mood that the country is in. And so we intend to look into all of these things tonight and run our analysis and commentary about the different happenings with capital building and fanatic rescheduling. You know, as a United Methodist, we say, okay, I think the time has reached that we don't just sit down and watch and sit on the fence and watch as the church rumble into controversies. And so we will spend small time tonight to talk about some of the happenings in the church and what we think and what we know and what we think it should happen. I one of you and I will talk on tonight. Because we've been getting a lot of calls, but Austin, why you guys not saying anything? You guys seem to be silent on the issue and all of that. Yes, because we have not decided. And we will not decide. I am a United Methodist. I remain a United Methodist because I am not a saint. So I am not going to invoke the authority of Jesus Christ or God to begin judging people on earth. I will not judge anybody on earth about the life they want to live. What I will not do is that I will not give support to people's what you call other people's bad habit, unquote. And that is the authority and the responsibility of Jesus Christ or God to judge all of us when we should have died and ascended to Jesus Christ for interrogation or to account for our stewardship on earth. My people don't want to hope on nobody. This is a biblical standard that the Bible, the scripture set for all worshippers. And so, yeah, so we'll talk small. A good friend of mine, Abraham Morris, a journalist, has written an article, an elaborate one, which I'm interested in. I was reading it before coming on the radio, and I think I'm going to feature that on the show tonight as part of our conversation of the church, the controversies in the church. And then this is going to take us up to 9 o'clock when we shall have opened our studios to the team, the leadership of the Supreme Motorcyclist Union of Liberia. This is the size and shape of the show here tonight. So the people say Joe Parker is warning Jeremiah Kuhn, right? Say that 2019 you're thinking about. Don't bring it here. Let's focus on the remaining 5 years that we had. If you're interested in your 2019, resign with honor and respect and go and focus, go and pursue your 2029 bid. But as we speak, all of our attention, all of our energies should be directed towards the last, the remaining 5 years that the Liberian people have given us. What does turn one? Depending if it comes with sincerity. Initially, I did not know, or they didn't trust the quotation from some people I was seeing on Facebook, so I decided to reach out to the E-Mansion people. And the E-Mansion people confirmed with evidence. They share with me screenshots from the executive mansion page. I said, oh, okay. So now we can move into the discussion. So those are the issues we're going to talk about here tonight. Again, my name is Austin Kawad. This is Freedom Hard Talk. Tonight, the cash giveaway is active, and so yes, you can play the cash giveaway if you want to play and walk away with 4,000 Liberian dollars tonight on the show. All you have to do, make sure you dial *799 *11 hash and send. Then you enter whichever option you want to enter, depending on the currency you want to play in. Option number 1 will ask you to play in US dollars, and option number 2 will ask you to play in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you select, you send and you enter your mobile money password. This show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia of OMSM Zion. Very shortly, we take a break from our sponsor. When we come back, we talk a bit about cash giveaway and how you can play and win. And then we'll move on to our Facebook page to welcome all of you who've joined us tonight from your different places.
It's about musical. There are crowds in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime, you report it. Don't take law in your hands for the right authority. Really can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see you must talk it. I mean you check. You work for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make it before them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, on the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, old man Sam Zion.
Thank you very much for our own self, old man Sam Zion. Let's go quickly and welcome all of you who's joined us tonight, and then move into our discussion. Let's begin the ceremony with Alaska Pay, Catherine Davis, Kristen Davis, sorry, Ruthland Shuliu, son of KOK. Oh no, internet, don't misbehave, please. Nelson B. Smoya, right? Ayuba Kaba says Lou Blackmon, sorry. Says Lou Blackmon, Prosperity Jerry Yoki, Gustin Musa, Dubon Hill, Wendell Nimland, the Nation's Terminator. Yes, sure. Wendell is right. Please, we told you there are two responsibilities I have. When you come on the show, you have to share the link. Imagine all of you watching the how the list is long. So all of you have just share one time. That's all. When you share, other people will share. That's all we ask of you. Marvin Doden, Charles Gray, Fazari, Venetius Junior Bar, Lasana Fode, Emmanuel Bro, all of you, welcome to the show. Odell Gibson, Agatha Glasgow, Kama Saki, Ralph Cooper, Loretta Dwyer, Emmanuel Gabla, all of you, Augustus help. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's move straight into our discussion since we don't have the luxury of time. But before we move into our discussion, again, I was saying to all of you who are playing the cash giveaway that tonight's payout is 4,000 Liberian dollars. That is if you play and lucky to win tonight. After we shall have done the draw, it's 4,000 Liberian dollars we're going to pay you. And it's instantly paid to your mobile money accounts. All of you who will win. Now, make sure you have 100 Liberian dollars on your mobile money account or its equivalent in US dollars. And then you are qualified to play the cash giveaway. All you do is you dial star 799 star 11 hash. Again, you dial star 799 star 11 hash. You send, and then you see two options will pop up on your phone. Option number one will be asking you whether you want to play in US dollars, and option number two will be asking you whether you want to play in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you select, you send, you enter your mobile money password. It's a bingo for you. You just be sitting, waiting to be called, waiting to receive your alert. In fact, because the payment is done instantly once the draw is done, and then we call you to verify or confirm receipt of the money in your phone. Simple, easier to play the cash giveaway and be a winner here tonight. Now, I don't even know what to start, but let me start with the invitation of the speaker. You know, today the speaker was invited by the police, and he didn't appear because it was rescheduled. And after the reschedule that, due to what they say, the appearance, the protest of the motorcyclists and all of that, and so he's been rescheduled to Wednesday. And so I know the momentum was high. All of you were waiting to come out today, to interact, come in solidarity of the speaker. But from now to Wednesday, it's not far. And so we can encourage all of you that you can still come out on Wednesday, just as you were in your gear today. In fact, the postman should give you enough time to plan properly, because the invitation came on the weekend, and it gave us difficult time to circulate the information to properly effectively mobilize you to come out. So since it has been extended, I think it gives you enough time on Wednesday to come all out and ensure that we all turn out in solidarity of the law, not necessarily the individual, but the law. Okay, and that's all I can say for now. Our good friend, a professional partner, Leonard Dulu, experienced a tragic incident last night at his home. His residence was gutted by fire. Fortunately for him, there was no casualty, as in him reported. There was no loss or injury of life reported. But yes, the roof of the generator room and the house got destroyed to some extent. But the community people were the heroes last night. They turned out in their number. They came all out in support of Dudu and his family and his kids, and they were able to extinguish the fire to avoid the unforeseen casualty that normally declare or come along with fire outbreaks across the country. And so we want to give it out tonight for the residents, the community dwellers, the neighbors of our good friend Dudu. And we also want to wish all of them well, the family. And we know these are trying times, but again, the fact that lives were saved, we give God the thanks and the praises. Those are all. So when the Bible talks about vanity, this is a practical experience of what the Bible means when you say all is vanity. And so our prayers are out there with you, man, Dudu and the entire family. There's always hope, ahead. Now, so on I came across this screenshot. Did I save it or did I save it? Okay, where the police inspector general is announcing that so let me go to journalist Charles posted this, which we want to start the conversation with. So as we're talking, you folks just have to be playing the cash giveaway. Okay, so we'll come back to do the draw. But this is what Yes posted. And I was just having this conversation with, I think it was on yesterday. Yes, so yesterday I was having this conversation. And this is where we are now. He posted, he said, as U.S. Embassy remains tight on the matter, who brought the U.S. fire experts? He said, Integrity Watch, a newspaper, has launched an investigation into the preparation of some U.S. fire expert, blah, 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 blah. Recently, Liberian raised concern about the presence of some fire of some folks in the country that the Liberian National Police said were U.S. fire experts, and they were forming part of the Capitol building fire incident investigation. There have been conflicting information surrounding the coup and their legitimacy. Many Liberians are concerned as to who brought in the coup. Multiple sources inform our investigations that the guards were hired by the Liberian National Police exclusively, and the U.S. Embassy has no hand in it. When we contacted the U.S. Embassy on the matter to confirm if the U.S. government knew about the coup presence in the country, the U.S. Embassy referred us to the Liberian National Police. The U.S. Embassy wrote, this is the reply to Charles Yates. Dear Mr. Yates, we ask that you reach out to the Liberian National Police regarding your inquiry. Thanks, Todd Edrich, Acting Public Affairs Officer. Then they continue to write. Sources inform our investigation that the guards on ground are not the result of mutual assistance from the U.S. government. Our source said the embassy relayed to government that they could not provide experts to investigate the fire as it had become political. Meaning, the U.S. Embassy, after the government reached out to them, they said that they cannot provide their men, their servicemen, and they cannot intervene or interfere because the entire thing about the fire situation at the Capitol building has become political. And so they cannot intervene. Okay? The team in Liberia from Minnesota, firefighters, and not forensic investigators. So they say, according to the investigation, the guys are firefighters. They are not forensic investigators. Because many of us were calling and are still calling on the government. We believe that the government should have brought in forensic investigators to establish independently the cause of the fire before arresting people, declaring people of person of interest and all of that. Till then, we still hold our commitment to that call. Okay? Now, they said they don't have the bandwidth. It's a quotation. He said the team in Liberia are from Minnesota firefighters and not forensic investigators. They do not have the bandwidth to conduct criminal investigation or alleged arson. One of them, Mark Lind, has a controversial history of misusing public funds. Those of you in the US, I will spell the name for y'all and y'all can research on him. They say he's from Minnesota. That's what we'll do. And so I'll spell him. His name is spelled Mark, M-A-R-K, and Lindy is spelled L-Y-N-D-E. He said he has a controversial history of misusing public funds. In one case, the city of Osceola settled a defamation suit. He was demoted to an ordinary firefighter. Our source narrated. They are all friends of former Brooklyn Park City Councilman Wilfred Russell. Russell is a Liberian and friend of the IG of police, Gregory Como. Our source averred. Recently, the police informed the public that they have concluded with the fire incident investigation and have charged the suspects and forwarded them to court. And then the journalist Charles Yates concludes his narrative. Now, there's a reason why we will always make references to some of these posts on social media and some of these narratives from other media people and other political actors. We've always said to all of you that, hey, nobody, no decent character finds pleasure who will sit behind a microphone and find pleasure in providing misinformation or disinformation or providing a weak or lazy or sentimental analysis on critical issues in our country. For me, I respect my reputation. The morality, the integrity of my voice matter to me a lot. I respect the integrity of my voice. So I like when I speak. In any manner, any way I say it, it should be backed by facts. So we use Charles Yates supported the Unity Party government. So we use him. So they all now say, oh, that Austin didn't say it. Because the UP people say, oh, that Austin. This one they say that Charles Yates didn't say it. We said to you during this incident that, hey, the president was too hasty in concluding that the building was burned by people. He called them hooligans. And he went further to say, if people have disagreements or differences, there should be a better way to express or channel your grievances. And not by coming to destroy public facilities or public buildings. Meaning, at that moment, the president concluded that there were people that burned the building. So the police or state security had to act in that direction. We told you all that it was wrong. Interesting for us, the very police now that is struggling to prove a case for Baka to make it look like people burned the building, it's the same police that has ran to the US to bring in people to go and do a forensic, quote unquote, forensic investigation. Interestingly, the ball we told firefighters, we have been asking the police to furnish us with the professional details of these individuals. If you don't want to give us the professional details, you want us to research, give us their biometric information, give us our bio data. So that once you give that to us, we'll be able to research these people and know who they are, where they come from, what are their professional history, or what does the professional history look like for each of those individuals. And they were refusing to do that. We don't know them. When you bring people in to do investigation in your country, you display the professional history. What it does is that it attracts confidence. It attracts public confidence in the individuals and the work they are going to perform. In this case, they said, no, we're not going to tell you who the people are. Y'all go and research. But they are coming here to do work for us. If anything happens to them tomorrow in this country, Liberia takes the blame. Liberia takes the responsibility. I'm sure they're not coming here to work free. Taxpayer monies are being paid to them. The hotels they sleep in, the food they eat, the money we pay them, they all come from our taxes we pay. That makes the government answerable to us. We want to know who we are employing or who you are employing on our behalf. Because the building is burned, we want to know. So, two things. Except we're in this country, we do not have respect for the rule of law. So, imagine, people sitting somewhere in serious places, say, what is happening in this country? Your capital building was burned. Without any investigation, without any meeting, consultative meeting with the sector heads. Your president went to the public and told the media that people burned the building. That was an error. But the government still had the chance to have corrected the error. Because they were bent on childish play under the guise of politics, they said, let's pursue, let's continue in the error. After you have accused, you indicted, you say you investigated, you charge, you indicted. The case is in court. The courts are investigating the case under different multiple charges, including arson. and then you call in fire experts to come and investigate to establish the cause. Hey, then everybody is thinking that, something, not everybody, but everybody who's supposed to UDP is thinking that something is making sense here. Even though I know that my own UP friends have said, hey, my man, only one, grab blunder. If you wanted to pursue, you wanted to be political, just continue on the political track. To have gone by inviting people here to come and investigate to establish the cause of the fire, when you have already arrested, investigated, charged, and indicted, if are indicted and being prosecuted, then you say you call in people to come and establish the cause of the fire. What sense does that make to anybody? Even you, the UP folks, don't tell me what I'm making sense. A crime is committed without any investigation. You arrest, you investigate, you charge, you indict, you are prosecuting before going to start investigating. So what are you going to look for? So the two things people will say, one is that how independent is the investigative team? Who brought them in? Who authorized that? Where are they coming from? Are they Americans? Does the U.S. embassy know about them? What channel did Liberia use to go to America and take Americans and bring them here to work, to go to our capital building and work without the knowledge of the U.S. embassy here? What channel did we use? If the U.S. was in the know that firefighters from America were coming here, the U.S. embassy would have issued a statement. They have done that over and over and over. They said no. Is that my man, are you cause the old man? No, y'all go ask that man. Oh my man, but what happened? I thought we told you to close the door. They didn't close the door. Now the raccoon gone outside. But then if you tell the man, my man, close that door. When you leave that door open, that raccoon will go outside. When the public comes and the public asks him, I will tell him you should go ask you. My hand is out. So in reality, in essence, that's what the U.S. embassy was telling Charles. He was telling him, my man, our hand in nothing. Go ask your police director who brought the fire. America would never, the U.S. embassy would never refrain from speaking to you or any journalist about their citizens in your country. They will never, except on national security protection. Except on national security protection. That's the only way. Not on the civil enrichment where you see the police director himself is holding press conference and announcing to you and stating the purpose for which they are here. That one has been, the operation of those guys has already been declassified because the police director has said to you already they are here to investigate and establish the cause of the fire and run analysis to advise the government. So that is the operation of the fire team here, meaning that the operation has been declassified. It is no more classified. So the Americans will not be free from speaking to the media about Americans in your country visibly seeing a Capitol building working with U.S. law on them working. The Americans will not refrain, the embassy will not refrain or decline commenting or telling you whether they are in the know or not. If they were in the know, they will tell you, they will have responded in the affirmative. They are telling you, our hand there, you go, they can deny their citizens in the public. Whether they are here or not, they acknowledge that those are American citizens. So they will not deny them. But to tell you whether they are in the know of their coming here to perform a particular duty under the terms and conditions as announced by Greg, they tell you no. For the terms and conditions of their coming year, we are not in the know, but we can't say we're not in the know because they are our citizens. Suppose something happen. So they will not tell you that they are not in the know. They will tell you, go to the police and ask the police. Y'all go to your institution and ask. That's all they were telling you. And this is embarrassing for our country on a serious note. That the US will be in a partnership with Liberia to bring in fire experts here to investigate the Capitol building incident. And they fire the American sanctioned, the American authorized fire investigators will be in country, and the US embassy will decline commenting and tell you y'all go to the police when it is a mutual agreement, a mutual understanding between two allied countries. See, America is supplying or subconning our expertise of these firefighters or fire investigators to Liberia to aid in the investigation. And they'll be declining to comment about their presence here and their operations here. So that cannot be, it's not a national security issue because it has been, the operations here that stay here, that been here, have been declassified already. So it is no longer a national security issue. The police director said the men here to come to investigate the fire incident and establish the cause of the fire. So nobody can tell me, say, the Americans will not talk because that national security issue. Not a national security issue. That operations here is supposed to be the real national security issue. There are operations here. But if the operations have been declassified by the government under the police inspector general, then so the US government is supposed to be speaking. But they said, no, I want him and there. Y'all go ask girl who brought the people here. But anything we tell you, anything happen to our people, our citizens, y'all will take responsibility. This is what we are. The lawyer can say you are supposed to hear before you. You're supposed to hear before you find the person guilty. In the case, they may finish finding people guilty, they finish indicting, investigating, do all kind of things. Then they say they're going to invest, they're going to establish the cause of the fire incident. This is an embarrassment to the state. It's a disgrace to our democracy. And those who are bringing disgrace to our democracy have to be chastised publicly. And this is what they do not like about us. They want us to look at friendship, prioritize friendship when they are doing the wrong things. And even we here behind the microphone, we are victims. We are victims of their lawlessness and their carelessness and their lack of respect and decency to people. We are victims. Ask them. We sat here, they bring my car. What did they do? What did they say? Have they said anything? No. They lack decency for people, for good people. Just a moral decency. To say, oh, Cynthia can say that. What really happened? Today, the police cannot tell you. Because they said, no, we can't sit with him because he's a critical man. How critical am I against Bwaka? You're looking for critical voices in this country, and maybe I will not even be among the first 20 or 30 persons. So why targeting people? Today, coming on the radio, I received text from one of my in-laws. He said he rode a taxi that stopped into his junction. He just sent me text. You gotta be careful. They hate too much. You were the center of the discussion in the car today that I rode to go home. Nothing we do. We're not taking gun to kill anybody. We're not beating anybody. We're not kicking anybody. We're not slapping anybody. We are not keeping speech for anybody. We do not hate anybody. The only crime we have committed is that every morning and every night, every evening, we come here on our respective platforms and we chastise the government about the wrong things she is doing. Just the wrong things. That's all. And they're not telling you that what Austin or KOG or Abu are saying on the radio, what they're saying is untrue. But they're saying, why are you saying it? That's the crime. Why you are saying it? What kind of serious country will go and indict people and goes back to investigate and to establish the cause of the incident? You indict people, you press charges against them, and you go back, call people from America, wasting taxpayers' money on them to go in Capitol building and go investigate, when in fact that place should have even been a crime scene, had already been tampered with. Technicians are going there to do estimate, to advise the legislature to appropriate 1.8 million US dollars as a determination. They say that's a cost. That's a damage cost on the building. That's the cost it will require the government to begin renovation on the building. 1.8 million. They chunking the budget. Last year budget. Last year they put in the budget for the year of 2025. When we're still investigating to establish the gravity of the damage on the building. My engineer friends with their wonderful wages, they will say no structural assessment was done. Nothing at all. No structural assessment was done. Boom, 1.8 million is the value of the damage on the building. You've done all of that. Then you take our money and go for Americans to call them in here. That's waste of state resources. That's waste of time. And that is a disgrace to our democracy and a disgrace to the reputation of our presidency. And it speaks in a demeaning manner of the wisdom that people who are presiding over state security infrastructures are supposed to have. Who are those guys presiding over the state security infrastructure? That's the question we'll be asking our guys here. Yeah, I'm expecting. Yeah. You know, that's the question they're going to be asking you. Who are those guys presiding over our state the security infrastructure? Because they don't seem to be doing what they're supposed to do. Everybody wants to invite or arrest and investigate. Then they charge you. Then they indict you. They say to the court indicts you. And then they begin with the prosecution. But you already got evidence. The fact that you've indicted means you've been able to establish probable cause. So it is useless to take those Americans and carry them in Capitol building there and say they should go investigate to establish the cause of the fire incident. It's useless. It is useless. We're always doing things wrong behind backward and all of that. You can't behave like that. And you want us to talk about, and you want people to respect your government. You want people to support your government. I wouldn't have issues supporting Joe Burger. The day Joe Burger decides to listen to us and we see him taking practical steps, doing exactly what we are suggesting to him or proposing to him, you will see. We'll tone down the message because he is doing what we are just asking him to do. But they're ignoring everything. They are wearing arrogance and creating chaos in the country. And he said we should support you. Support you on what basis? What's the attraction? So the embarrassment you've caused for us. Our motorcyclists are already here, so the leadership is here already. Let me just say something small about this UMC thing. We'll go in detail. We'll go into it in detail tomorrow. You see, and I will summarize my thought. I don't know. I always told my wife that I'm a different person when it comes to religion. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a moderate. I'm not an extremist. I'm not a liberal. Yeah, I'm not a liberal. So I'm in the middle because you can see every portion in me. You see conservative behavior in me at a certain point in time, liberal behavior in me, at a certain time, extremist behavior in me at a certain time. So I'm in the middle. What am I saying this? The church is a congregational church. The United Methodist Church is a congregational church. And I see that people have decided to, I want to be careful how I select my choice of words. But I see arrogance and greed be clouding the reasoning of people who call themselves the moralists in the church, who believe that once it is not their way, once it is not their choice, it should not be the choice of the people. The choice of the people should not be respected when it is not their choice. The United Methodist Church is a congregational church. It means leadership was, decision was, anyway, from the local churches to the general conference, decisions come from up and trickle down to the local churches. So when we say the church is a connectional church, that's it. Decisions that are made up at the general conference to vote through a democratic process. Resolutions are the propositions are debated. They are circulated. People campaign, people lobby on the floor, outside the floor. People lobby the debate to pass or vote for or against particular propositions. The reason why that is done is because when the majority agrees on a particular proposition, it becomes binding on the entire church. And that is the structure of the church. Two options. We either change that portion of the book of discipline that requires us to abide or honor every decision that is made at the general conference, and put in that the book of discipline. We will say decision will be applicable and be implemented, or applicable based on region or based on domestic laws. So we will make that amendment in the book of discipline, or when we are passing that resolution, we include in the resolution an amendment to state that this resolution, when passed, will be applicable based on domestic laws. A lawyer said, no, we don't have to put that there because it is applicable. That what the church agrees on at the general conference will only be applicable in Liberia, or in Ghana, or in Egypt, based on the domestic law there. He said, take for example, in the US, this is the first time that same-sex law or proposition have been passed in the Methodist Church. From the existence of the Methodist Church, this proposition is not a new proposition in the Methodist Church. For those of you who do not know, but a few folks who are traveling on something else, they want to make it to look there. The church come and say, you're married same-sex people. All along, for the past 22 years plus, the United Methodist Church have been going to general conference and defeating this proposition. The African churches have been voting against the particular propositions at general conferences. When they go, they will put the proposition on the floor. They will vote against it. The people who are gays and lesbian in the United Methodist Church, they didn't leave the church. When they vote against that proposition, they can go back, recalibrate. My man Fredom Project can say regroup. They will go back, regroup, and everything. They wait for one year again. After that 1 year, they'll go to general conference again. They put that resolution on the floor. All go together, we vote against it, we beat them. That thing. The following year, they will wait for 1 year again. After 1 year, we go for general conference again. That same resolution comes to the floor. We vote against it. We defeat them. They did not leave the church. For over 25 years, gays and lesbians have been in the church, paying their tithes and their offerings. Their resolution have been defeated. They have monies. They go and left the church to go and establish their own church, their own denomination, as these guys are doing today, calling themselves global. But those lesbians and gays who were paying the taxes, contributing to the survival of African churches, including Liberia, all those years. Jerry Kula, who was arrested over the weekend in the head of the global church, Jerry Kula is a beneficiary of those very people who today is shouting all around, telling people, oh, we don't want gay. Nobody else said they want gay. Nobody want gay. Liberia is clear. But they are making you who are not United Methodists, who do not understand the issues, to believe that the United Methodist Church, under the leadership of Bishop Choir, has endorsed same-sex marriage. How can that make sense? When one of the lawyers for our church, might say, but the man said the way they may interpret the Supreme Court ruling, he can support anything. It's also to the Minister of Justice. So nobody is the church, the United Methodist Church has not endorsed same-sex marriage. What the church has said, and that I will even say, now this does not mean I'm supporting Samuel Choir or Jerry Kulanensa. I'm supporting no global. I will remain a United Methodist. That does not make me a supporter of Samuel Choir. But I remain a United Methodist. Now, so the over 25 years that we've been defeating that one resolution against the gays and lesbians. The gays and lesbians in the church recognize, they agreed, they accepted their result. They accepted all those results for over 25 years. They accepted those results that, oh yeah, the people in the majority. The church is a congregational church. The church said this, will go by A. The church said, me want same-sex marriage in the church, will go by A. We'll be doing our thing on the ground, meaning on the ground, illegal. They recognize it. But we still go to church, pay our tithes, pay our offering, we'll go home. We get issue. So they accepted the result from us for over 25 years. The first year, they went, they've been fighting, lobbying. The same way we've been lobbying against, they've been lobbying. The General Conference, last year they went, they said, okay, they put the resolution on the floor again. They put the resolution on the floor. The resolution passed. It means the majority voted for that resolution to pass. And guess what? Some of these people you see causing nausea, some of these people here were even delegates at the General Conference that voted. Ask the African churches. What they are also not telling you is that if the African churches, the delegation from the African churches had not voted in favor of same-sex marriage, we wouldn't be having a conversation today because our delegation is large. The reason why we've been defeating it because the African churches have been voting no. So over 25 years, the African churches have been voting no, and no. So we've been defeating the resolution. This General Conference, the African churches were divided over their votes, over their support. That's why you see today we are having what we are having. We Africans will always having the behavior of dividing ourselves on the basis of catch. When we go and divide ourselves in America or in the Western countries, we subject ourselves to Western influence. They use cash to influence us. We take decision. We come back and we can start civil war in our country while the people in America are living in peace. You see the people in America fighting? They are in the US. They are not fighting. They are not fighting. They are living in peace. You see one tear gas in the Western churches. That in Liberia, the other African churches in other countries. You see anybody fighting war in other African churches? The delegation from Nigeria was divided over the vote. The delegation from Ghana, delegation from the East African countries, they were all divided over the vote. Some of them voted for, some voted against. You see them fighting war in their countries? You see police intervening? They came back and solved their problems. In Liberia, where you have more plenty of greedy and illiterate people, that's why you see what is happening today to the church. Greedy and illiterate people. The Ghanaians, the Nigerians, the Kenyans, the Ugandans, they all came back. They said, you know what? We're not going to panic. We're not going to worry. Why? The Ugandans said, in this country, all our church laws are subjected. They are subjected to the state laws. So if the General Conference agreed that we endorse or embrace same-sex marriage, that they're better. They will probably say there. In Uganda, Museveni is clear that in this country, there is no gay issue. And there's a ban on holding conversation about same-sex issue in our country. So we're not worried. There goes the church. Let's see the first two gay people that come to us and tell us, say, come marry or in the church. You even make expression or intention. They carry the coat. You see North in Uganda? No. You see North in Kenya? No. You see North in Zimbabwe? No. You see North in Nigeria? No. You hearing North in Ghana? No. Are you hearing North in Sierra Leone? No. Where are you hearing North? In Liberia, because we got greedy and illiterate people here. In the US, this resolution is not applicable in the US right now. But the church has agreed to endorse same-sex marriage, right? Ask them, is it applicable in the US now? No. Why? Because there is a new government, and Donald Trump is clear that in this country, there are only two genders, male and female. He clear. So I mean, for the next 4 years, nobody is practicing same-sex. There'll be no same-sex marriage in the US for the next 4 years. Hey, man, why are we not using our heads, our wisdom? And some of you who are not United Methodists, I see people just running all around. Yeah, I can't blame you. Trust me. I understand. You guys do not understand what's happening in the church. Those of us who are United Methodists, and some of us were privileged to serve at the highest level, at the conference level of the church. So we understand, we know what's happening. Why there isn't any laws in other places, but there are nurses all over in Liberia about the global United Methodist and regionalization and all of that. Why? In America, Donald Trump said that only two genders here, male and female. Watch and see whether you see any open same-sex marriage in the US. Just watch and see. For the next 4 years, watch and see whether you see any open same-sex marriage in the US. You see Americans burning tires. You see police going to church. You see police going to church. There are breakaways. People having breakaway. They're very global people who talking. The thing we're talking here. Some saying they're global United Methodists. There'll be my guesses are. The very global people we're talking about here. There is a global people group also in the US. They say they cannot stay with the United Methodist Church in the US and other European countries because the resolution is unacceptable. What they did you see them leaving the United Methodist Church in the US and claiming the property? No. Did you see them claiming property, or did you hear them attempting to claim property in the US? They left their churches, the United Methodist churches, and they're going and acquiring land and forming and organizing their own structures and coming to Africa to establish branches in Africa. And the small money they pumping here now, you see, they misbehaving here, acting illiterate. No laws in the other people in the country. Yeah, they're causing laws. So in this country, in this case, Liberia has a strong law on same-sex marriage. Our law does not allow same-sex marriage. So why are we causing laws? Why are we fighting? Let Bishop Samuel Choir go to one chair or man church Brensfield in Broadville and say, "Oh, I'm Jim Peter and Paul Giddings. We are here to come and get married in Brensfield's Memorial United Methodist Church in Broadville." And let's see whether Reverend Famata Sago will say, "Oh yeah, we endorse it." That's it. It's not going to happen anywhere. But we are fighting over greed. That greed and illiteracy suffering us, folks. I don't want any of you to believe what's happening. What's the marriage, passing their marriage. They calling pastors gay, calling Bishop Choir gay, and all of that. Why you bring the church, the authority of the church, to public ridicule, only to satisfy your greed and your arrogance? You see, people who call themselves people who are supposed to be literate, who claim to have gone to school and acquire all of the credentials, they are all on social media, marketing this ignorance, reducing the church, because they think the church is about Samuel Choir. The church is not about Samuel Choir. If you didn't vote him to be bishop, I did not suppose Samuel Choir to be bishop. I wanted Sawolo Nelson as bishop. Samuel Choir won the election. We destroy the church because he's bishop? I mean, what kind of illiteracy is this? And people, some of us desire to refrain from having conversation about this thing because, yeah. Look, it is painful. But there's nothing serious about what is happening in the United Methodist Church. There's nothing serious. I shouldn't lie to you. Those guys are making it. They know what happened in the church now, looking at the CDC and UP thing. The way the UP people projected the propaganda, the way they tailored the propaganda, they made George Weah to appear like a devil. That he was a nobody, the whole country was destroyed on him. Nothing good happened in the country. They lie a lot to the extent Mr. Weah went and sang a song and all. Liar man. They lie too much. And people, the ordinary people, they fear for it. 20,000 person fear for it and voted against George Weah. They song, George Weah go. When Weah left today, you see the disaster we're in. This is the case with the United Methodist Church. They're making the thing to look there, the propaganda to look there. The church, Samuel Choir is a gay, or I'm a United Methodist. The last thing we'll go to our guests, people say they want to break away from the church. Then they want to break away from the United Methodist Church. They must carry the property with them. What is sense in that thing? You have one congregation. I'm from St. Paul Rural District. I'm from Brownsville United Methodist Church in Broadview. I go to Brownsville. We are two groups in the church. One group saying we will remain United Methodist. The other group say we can remain United Methodist. We are going to global. The group that is going to global say we who say we won't stay as United Methodist. We should leave the structure and turn ownership over to them. They should own it. Does that make any sense to you? The Catholics, the Baptists, the Episcopalians, with the Presbyterians who are listening and watching us tonight? Does that make sense? If we are 30 in the church and 10% say they will remain United Methodist, and 20% say they're going to global, you are the one going, so you are supposed to go. You can't say because you're going and you carry the church property. So we are going to waive our right or ownership to the church, and you are going to take the ownership of the church or assume ownership of the church and take it along with you. So where do we worship? We will say we want to remain United Methodist. Where do we worship? We should go and build our own church. So why you can't go and build your own church? Because you are the one living. You are the one living. But you say, oh, I want to be part of you. You work in the church. All of you were Christians, you're Muslim. If you sit down as a Christian, you say, one man in the Catholic say, hey, I don't want to be a Catholic man anymore. I'm going. Then the man say, say I'm going, you're giving, I'm taking the property with me. What kind of sense is that? When John Wesley, who founded the United Methodist Church, when John Wesley decided to break away from the Episcopalian Church, he said, hey, I'm walking away, but I will go and establish structures across the world. John Wesley did not take church property along with him. He didn't claim, he didn't demand. He walked away and started establishing here. Brother Charles Wesley, they started establishing churches across the world. They came to Africa and settled here. They established churches here. They went way into car to Miller my eyes up on Melvin B. Cox. They established churches here. Today we have these churches. So when they came here and established Melvin B. Cox in Conway, and the Melvin B. Cox is divided, they won't go to the global people must take Melvin B. Cox and carry with them. Then the other people who are United Methodist, they should waive the right and ownership to the property. Does that make sense to all of you? And you all want to think that what is happening, that it's a serious thing. It's not serious, that greed and illiteracy. Solving those people who call themselves global, you global. You global, you go, you build on a church, establish your land and build your church. Establish your land and build your church. So tomorrow, if you succeed in establishing global, after 5 years or 10 years, your global start having issue. One group say, we don't want to be global, you will go in. You're feeling acquiring layer, build church. One group say, we don't want to be global, we are leaving. The group that is leaving, the group say, no, we're leaving. But you're not getting ownership to the property. We carry the property with us. What will you say? You will run to court. The court intervene. The court issue a ruling. The court say, hey, this case, it doesn't have merit. You leaving, you leave. You're turning the keys over to 72nd UMC people or the other people. The police are going along with the sheriff to enforce the court order. Then you start throwing stone. You say, you're the Christian. You're throwing stone. You see that you own the property. 72nd divided. One group say we United Methodist. The people put our money together and build our church. The other group say we global, we're living. You get there, you say, my man, I'm living. You will say living and you say, I'm living, but give me the key with me. You're not enter the hall to obey. What kind of sense is that? Denying somebody from access or ownership to the house to your bill because you living? You marry a woman, you say you want to divorce a woman. You go even divorce your woman, you file a divorce, the issue or do your son. They tell the hockey, say the lawyer pay, I carry the key, you not enter the hall. What kind of sense is that? If you want to adjudicate ownership of the property, you go to court. When the court rules, we honor the ruling from the court. You don't go and take the laws in your hand and start running all around, throwing stone and locking the church door, teaching the locks on the church. This thing has to stop. We have to be more civilized. If we're Christians, and we must serve as example for, as Christ was an example to all of us that today we are followers of Christ, we must exemplify good behaviors, good attitudes. When we're in the public, I am not a judge. I'm not here to judge anybody. If Peter Paul wants to be a gay, that's his business. How does that concern me? How does that concern me? That God, Jesus Christ, God's supposed to judge people. The Bible says all of us will account for our stewardship. When that day comes, when judgment day comes, all of us will account for our stewardship on earth. The Bible, nowhere in the Bible say Osikawa or one bishop or one pastor can judge somebody who is a gay or judge somebody who is a rule. Or no, the church is for sinners. The church is for sinners. The church is not for saints. If you are a pastor or a bishop, very cooler. If you are a pastor and you are chasing sinners of the church instead of encouraging them to come to the church and evangelize to them and win the souls to Christ, and you are chasing them all of the church, I mean you are not qualified to be a pastor. Jesus Christ did not chase sinners of the church. Jesus Christ embraced sinners into the church and challenged them to be of good. And challenged them to go into the war and win souls unto him and his teaching, through his teaching. He didn't say chase them out. You build a church for sinners. If you think somebody is a gay or lesbian, organize an evangelism school for them, class for them. Simple as that. That in the Old Testament will not be stoning people and all that. When Jesus Christ, they come to Jesus Christ, kill all those things. They don't do them. Say, no, let's embrace them. Let's talk to them. Let's evangelize. Let's call them to different classes and talk to them. Why are you stealing? Why are you drinking alcohol? Why are you smoking in the public? Let's evangelize. But you can't say, because you're smoking, don't come to my church. That's not your church. Because you're lesbian, don't come to the church. That's not your church. The church is for God. That God will judge that person on judgment day and say, you go into hell, you go to heaven. You not a gay Jericho, you will go to heaven. The person who is a gay, the person will go to hell. That God decision, not your decision. You guys are embarrassing all of us who are United Methodists. The church has many pillars. One of the pillars of the church is reasoning. 4 pillars of the church, and you all know that. What do you think the people say the Methodist church has? 4 pillars on which we make decisions. That 4 pillars we use to make decisions as United Methodists. And one of the pillars is reasoning. This is where reasoning is supposed to come in. And I see a group of illiterate and greedy people running around calling themselves global. Nothing pains me but the fact that you say you leaving, then you won't carry the church property with you. So we who are United Methodists now, will not get ownership to the church too? Those are who pay our tax, and give our offering, give our contribution to the different organizations. Those are all who receive letters. Every traditional program to go there and contribute, even if we don't go with same contribution. Why about us who? We're not united, we don't have ownership to the church? Only you? I see some of you who are not United Methodists, like I said, I can't blame you. But probably you guys do not understand what's happening. What is happening? It's just simple. It's just like an ABC thing. When we refuse to apply one of the pillars of the church, reasoning, we make decisions on the basis of 4 pillars. We use the scriptures, which is the Bible. We use the book of discipline. And people sit down here, they don't want to they don't want to accept that we have 4 pillars in the church. We use our bylaws and reasoning. So the book of discipline is not clear on something. We use the Bible, we use our bylaws, or we go for reasoning. You know what I mean? They're reason. They accept the people to be here, but we're not legalizing them. We're not holding marriage. We're not holding same-sex marriage in the church. We're not holding same-sex marriage anywhere. We are not doing, but we can't throw them away because they are sinners, and the church is for sinners. That's how people reason. You really don't want to see some men getting married in my church? God forbid. I don't want to see that nonsense. And the church has not endorsed that. Y'all wait and see what Donald Trump people have same-sex marriage in America for the next 4 years. They don't know what that true. The Methodist church endorse same-sex marriage. Chokon, how are you? Welcome. I think Chokon will use this microphone because Please switch it to him. Yeah. Tonel Tonel will go extra time on the show tonight because these things were important. Edison Mason, my church does not have a gay pastor. Apparently, he didn't listen to everything I said here tonight. There is no gay pastor in any church. There's nowhere in the country that your domestic laws allow gay pastors. There's nowhere. For you to sit down and determine that somebody is a gay pastor, you must take that person. You must take that person for examination. You must be able to prove that a person is a gay. How do you prove that? By perception? By perception? For me, I don't go for sentiments. Everything, yeah, I don't go for sentiment. I mean, for me, we go for facts. So that whole sentimental aspect where somebody want intellectual last the church, me and not into intellectual last in church beneath. I ain't that all I want. So me, not gonna argue say anything you want to believe it. But what I had to say, I said that tonight. Jokon, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the support. Thank you for adding your force to the motorcyclist forces out there to making sure that this ban is lifted and government see reason to free our people motorbike. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're trying to put you on camera for the folks to see you, but there are a couple of issues. There are a number of issues that you have to address, and we left them. But let me try to speak with. I want to start with the communication from the Ministry of Transport.
Okay.
Yes, I forwarded that to you. You saw the communication from the Ministry of Transport,
Yeah,
and let me talk to the Director of Press at the Ministry of Transport, and then that will set the basis for our discussion tonight. But while I'm trying to contact him, I know you may allow rounds tonight, today. You want to let me see what I can get him first, and then we can move into the discussion. Okay, his phone is ringing. So I'm calling the Director of Communications at the Ministry of Transport. Let's see whether he picks his call. We serve him. Okay, so we have the Director of Communications on the phone already. Mr. Shadrach Brown, how are you?
I'm fine, Austin. Let me say good evening to your many listeners in Radio Land. It's my pleasure to be live on your radio at about this time.
Okay, so the release is like a 3-paragraph release, but I want to focus on the last 2 paragraphs. Sorry, the first. He said the Ministry of Transport is concerned about the ongoing protest by a group calling itself Supreme Motorcyclist Transport Union of Liberia, which claims to be a registered union under the ministry's jurisdiction. The Ministry of Transport would like to clarify that this group under the banner blah 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 is not a registered union under the Ministry of Transport and therefore has no official status or authority to operate as a union. In response to their actions, the ministry urges the self-proclaimed group and all other motorcyclists under the banner to refrain from impersonating to avoid future embarrassment with the Ministry of Transport. 2 first questions to you. 1, what is the significance of this release?
So, first day, there was an allegation being made by one Gray who happens to be the head of this self-proclaimed Supreme Motorcyclist Transport Union of Liberia. He said that they are a legitimate institution that is being recognized by the Ministry of Transport. Firstly, before you run a transport union in the Republic of Liberia, you must have an eligibility certificate from the Ministry of Transport.
Mm-hmm.
And that eligibility certificate comes from the Division for Land Transport, because land transport is responsible to ensuring that people obtain eligibility certificate, those who are operating used car dealership, new car dealership, used tire, new tire.
Okay, so what I'm saying, so to announce yourself as a union, as a transport union, you must obtain a license or an authorization from transport.
Eligibility certificate.
And the
where
fact
you
that
have
your
to
record,
register.
the fact that your record does not show that they are eligible to be called or be considered a transport union, you don't recognize them.
We don't recognize them. So in order for you to link the Ministry of Transport to say we are a legitimate and registered body,
Okay.
that's why we have conducted this protest. This is why we check into our database and we have found out for 2024, these people are not legitimate. And as such, they cannot link the Ministry of Transport to their action.
Okay, the
We
second
are not talking about their protest.
Okay, the second
Cause
concern. Let's
protest
talk about
of
it. Let's
people
talk about
in
it.
some-
Let's talk about the second concern. We don't have the luxury of time, and the president of the union is here in our studio listening to you. So I hope you will listen to the show after you drop the line. The second concern is you spoke about you advised or warned or sounded a warning to the group to refrain from impersonating to avoid what you call future embarrassment with the ministry. What could be that future embarrassment you may have been referring to?
Because once you continue to attach the Ministry of Transport, that the Ministry of Transport is aware about our operation as a union, definitely you have placed the ministry at a point where it have to defend itself. So firstly, what we intend to do as a ministry is to officially write that head of that institution, that self-proclaimed institution, to warn them to desist from such action, because linking the Ministry of Transport there is like tarnishing the image of the institution.
Did you write them? Did you write a group? Did you write a group officially or formally
They
inviting
are
them?
now, as we speak now, they are in the protestation time.
Okay.
So what we intending to do is that once it subsides, we are officially going to write them, informing them about their action. So once they are informed about their action and whatever further, proceeding, if they continue to do that, linking the ministry to their organization or saying that the ministry is aware about their operation, definitely then there will be further action which will be pronounced by the SMT members of the ministry, the senior management team of the ministry that comprises of our ministers. So that's why we came up with this statement, because once if they were not to link us to their operation by saying that the ministry is aware and we have registered with the ministry as an organized or transport union, definitely we're not to issue our release.
Okay.
But you link on to this situation, we have to come out to inform the public that no, these people, as they are claiming, it is false and misleading. They should stop misleading the public.
Shaya, thank you for taking our call. The show. Hope you can follow the show, and you may call in to make any interjection when the need arises, because we have the motorcyclist leader here up to maybe 10:15.
No problem. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Shadrach Brown is the director of communications at the Ministry of Transport. This will set the pace for our conversation. Do you remember any time where you reference the ministry to be in the know of your operation, or if you may have said something about your relationship with the ministry? What did you mean?
We are registered institution under the Ministry of Transport. You Cedric went off. I just wanted to ask a few questions. We have two registered federations in Liberia, Motorcycle Federation in Liberia. The both federations have supreme name indicated on their documents.
Okay.
I just wish Cedric could come and clarify, right? NAFONTA, which is the National Federation of Motorcycle and Transport Association of Liberia, have 13 registered unions working together as a federation. I wish Cedric would pick up the phone and answer that. The next thing, the one headed by the guy who worked at the Freeport Monrovia, John King, the one he referred to as M42.
Yeah.
I just want him to bring that document. If he can make it available to you, if you see Sabrina Neone, I will never appear on the radio. Never. I think what the guys are trying to do is damage control. We got collected cyclist money, and because the cyclists decided to stand for their right, and so our coming out today sent a shock in the government. And so The next you go on another person page, you see somebody posting, in fact, la political protest. The next thing, Ministry of Transport coming out with a press statement. But there's the scene Choco Gray. And the ministry calls several times for me. If I'm institutional legal, why you inviting me for me? Or why you going to invite the Zogos on the street? I think the entire government need to understand that the children out there are not happy with them. They collected their money, and the best thing to do is to lift up this banner. Okay? I mean, people just need to be honest in this country for once. The two federations, the both of them had press conference on Sunday, yesterday. Look at the two press conferences. Both of them recognize Supreme. I just want you to find the two press conferences. The one from Nafanta and the one from M42. I just want you to go on Facebook, you will get it. They mention Supreme as Supreme part of them. Supreme should not be operating independently. They recognize Supreme, the pro federation that distance themselves from our protest on today. The Foreign Ministry also distance themselves. And so you come in on now, or you use the compromise federation to say the distance themselves from our activities on today. In fact, what we're doing it as individual. We're not doing it collectively as federation. Then you come back again and say, okay, even though I say you're young and we as federation, we're not saying by you, the ministry coming out again today again and say, oh, you're not young. I think the guy needs to be serious.
So I see Shadrach is calling back, but I hope okay, let me hear the intervention he wants to make. Shadrach?
Yeah. I'm monitoring. I wanted to.
Okay, so just monitor and jot down your points. In the middle of the conversation, we'll take you back to make your different interventions. Okay.
So like I was saying, Austin, I just want you to find the both press releases. The both of them were done on Sunday. The one now read by the government official who claiming to be motorcycle president John Kenyon, who work at the Freeport House, assistant director for logistics. And the one I read by that I know Emon Yuma, who's ever called himself now founder president. Look at the two press releases. On Sunday, the both of them were released. Their press releases were all about some too. But if some do it now, legal institution now, why the both federation crying baby that they didn't accept from us? So these guys are only interested in collecting tickets from the motorcycle in the field there. They are only interested in selling tickets to the motorcycle stickers. But they're not interested in their welfare. And going forward, we are going to be meeting as motorcyclists. For the fact of the matter, these guys are distancing themselves from the very things that are affecting the motorcyclists and it's causing serious stagnation. They will all we are going to ask our people, and they will continue to be distant from them. Every activity going forward, they will not buy their ticket, they will not buy their sticker. That will be our next decision. This is complete wickedness. Austin, union are meant to stand for its members. Union are meant for the welfare of the motorcyclists or its members. Why will you have a union that want to be compromising the interest of the people? You have over 1,000 motorbikes that have been illegally impounded by the Liberal National Police. You told me one morning, you say, oh, few motorcyclists go to checkpoint, they spot police boo. The very police inspector general went on public radio and said, a police boo was the most sophisticated police boo. It had camera. What happened? The camera now record the police choking the boo. Then you put everybody say everybody must suffer because few people went and commit crime. This is unfair. To be matter West, the Ministry of Transport brag about the ministry raising the highest revenue. Why? Because motorcycle register the motorbike. Oh, you want our money. You finish collecting it now. So we are stupid people. We don't want to get used for our money. You take our money. Now they run on the service that will pay for it. They say, no. You demand our people to insure their bike. You demand them to get driver lesson even though they're riding back. If motorcycle pay up to $300 US, they come in with just bragging that they raise a higher revenue in a shorter period of time. Also, you collect money now with the stupid people who's all go riding community. It like for community riding, but they work on restaurant and money. That is unfair. And that's why we are asking the government to live for this ban. Like I said.
So let's read I think the five points. Yes, five demands. I don't know what you want to call it, demand or request. So these are the demands. One, that we want the government to uplift the unconstitutional bind that was placed on us, or give back our money, over $6 million United States dollars that was collected from us as a revenue in the name of taxes. 2, release our bags that were unlawfully impounded. 3, that we demand the resignation or dismissal of Colonel Gregory Cuomo. 4, that speedy investigation be done for the death of Emmanuel Chokon Pajibo, who was killed as at the result of proliferation of checkpoints in the city and other cyclists that were hit and injured by the police. 5, that our peaceful march and mass assembly begins Monday, March 3rd, 2025, and continues until the ban can be lifted. There are some your critics listening to you may say some of these requests or demands are reasonable. $6 million should be returned to you, or they lift the ban.
Oh yes, there's a contract with that we signed between the government.
How many bags were impounded? Are we talking about? Estimate.
We're talking about at least 2,000 bags.
Over 2,000 bags impounded.
Yes.
You have you identified the owners of these bags?
The owners are available. If I just announce now that owners of bags that were impounded, you will not have space for them here. No. So the children are really suffering, Austin.
What do you want the resignation of? What was Greg resignation?
But Greg are proving that he's not competent to be police director. Austin going in the street. I don't know what we are even. I don't think even Chancellor government we now have the number of checkpoints we now have in the street. We have ATU, we have SOD, right? All the different groups, security personnel. The number of checkpoints in our street right now, we didn't see it till that time. What are we talking about here? We're talking about democracy now. We say everything okay. Going to checkpoint, Austin, even you are you not embarrassed? You got your car, you drive in the street. Every intersection in St. Maria got checkpoints. You tell for the rest of the motor about the rest of the motor for you to be harassing them.
Now let's talk about this. So the death of this because that's what caused. That's what got us to where we are today. The death of your colleague Chokon Pajibo. What really happened? So
we were informed by our people. You know they got the checkpoints right on the hill. They will close the road one side, allow these defected trucks no brake. They will be coming and they blowing horn, and the police will be there opening the road as if that train coming past. The vehicle that road water. But then all they care about is to arrest back motorbike. And so on this Wednesday, these motorcyclists were making a way.
Put the mark down to you. So you can okay.
Yeah. So the motorcyclists were making a way from Vatan, approaching the bridge, and we had the police officer normally at the checkpoints there. They will close the road one side,
yes,
and not because they want to do anything else, but just for the motorcycle sake, because they believe that when the cars are passing one at a time, the motorcycle will find it difficult to cross. So they create that kind of close, passage that you just have to stop, right? Before you have to stop before the car pass, so they can easily arrest your motorbike. So that's the kind of situation. So while standing there on the hill I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. They car lost checkpoint, and
the car lost brake.
The car lost brake, right? Mm-hmm. He was not paying attention. Even the very police officer, right? All he was after is to arrest a motorbike.
Was the bag being arrested? Was the bag being arrested?
He was attempting to arrest the bag. Normally the children when they come in, they are afraid of them now. It's not that some of them don't have legal documents, right? But they constant harassment where they may pass there 20 times, and the 20 times you will pass there, you will inspect it back. I mean, business at time, right? So sometimes they will prefer passing either dodging the police officer and the rest of them. That's the situation you were in when, like I said, I was informed that while attempting to arrest him, that's how he was shot, right? And he fell. The time he took to pull the bag, because when he fell, the bag fell on his legs. That's the information we got, right? The bag fell on his legs. The time he took to pull the bag from his foot, he was already late. People yelling, the truck coming, the truck coming, the truck coming. He was already late.
So in the process of arresting the bag,
yes,
he fell, or the bag fell. He fell along with the bag.
They always, in fact, they can put they got their stick in their hand or something.
Yes, I have seen that.
Like motor pencil.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can even push the I got in that stick between the motor tire. Just so that bag and stuff. Whether you fall on your hip or they care less. So that it is a normal thing for them. You getting it? So at time you will sometimes find someone who stubborn motorcycle trying to dodge them. You getting it? When he fell, like I said, the bar fell on him. The time he took to pull the bar, everybody leaving it. You can't see truck now. You can't see truck coming and you thinking about everybody running. So the time he took to pull the back from over him, it was already late. That's the information we receive from our people. Okay, Austin.
Now, so let me read this for you from Sam Collins, works with the police as some communication consultant to the Inspector General of Police. And this is in quotation. He said, there will be no adjustment in the motorcycles restrictions. RGP Como. And then I think DTV or DNTV, DN News also posted a similar thing that the Police Inspector General has said clearly that regardless of how huge you turn out, how long you protest or march or whatever you call it, that there will be no adjustment with the restriction.
Okay.
And I'm sure that has reached your decks. And what are you guys considering now? Because the protest is about you release a far count demand. Greg has said all that thing you're talking, there will be no adjustment. What does it leave you?
We are going to reconsolidate. The country don't belong. The country is not Gregory personal property. Greg needs to know that there were powerful men more than him. There will be powerful men after him. You can't collect people money. I see. So now, I try to find too able. It is difficult. There is criminality. You don't say sans contract. You say okay, you know what I mean? To access my yard, you pay $300 US. Why will you collect my money and say no, you can't do that again? Is that not criminality? Gregory Como and his team were all on the radio here. They want sanity. They were all around. They said that you have late sanity. And these people who are in the city, they should get helmet, they should get reflector, they should get jaw lesson, the motorbike should be plated. They were everywhere. I will do my best to get some of their recordings. So what are you talking about here? So you collect our money from us, and you want to deny all of having access to the road?
They said some of your guys are recklessly plying the streets, even though they are legally plying the streets, but some of them are recklessly riding. Some of them they lawlessly react to incidents of especially the ones that involve accident of some of your men and all of that. They cook to burn people cars or people trucks or buses whenever some of your guys are involved into accident. And once you're on the road, logically, there are two things: you risk being involved into accident or not. So if you're involved into accident, all your motorcycle guys will come around and just burn the vehicle, the accident vehicle, without waiting for the police to investigate, the accident and all that. You take the laws into your own hands. Does that justify? Doesn't that justify the reason behind the ban?
It can never be justified. I mean, this make no sense, Austin. I find it. I rather try to find to. I mean, my response. But
what do you think will make sense?
Look, Austin, we have a conversation before the government started the regulation or registering back. The first thing we were told by the Inspector General is that bars that are in full compliance, meaning you have your helmet, your bar is fully registered, your bar is in show. Whenever you are caught in violation, you'll be given ticket like car owners. Your
traffic violation.
Traffic violation.
Not mob violence.
Oh, yes. Right? Traffic violation. Now, the police told us one thing and started doing another thing. Chief, even before the restriction, and not a single motorbike ever experienced traffic violation for them to give them ticket. They will arrest their bar, seize their lesson, and demand money so they can go in their pockets. That's what they do. So the harassment, you see motorcycle responding in that kind of form and manner that we don't support. Okay, there is something that it's something that happen over and over and over, and people get irritated.
Have you been documenting some of these unlawful quote unquote attitude from the police? For example, if somebody is because I have experienced that at the time my car, got burned, I used to ride motorbike to go home and all of that. So I know I experienced a situation where the motorcyclists had driver license, helmet, reflection jacket, was riding with slingers, but it was after 10.
So all the issue about the 10 p.m. Regulation,
and he didn't want to submit himself to the authority or the discretion of the police.
So, but how be it? Let's agree he violated the 10 p.m. regulation. For the fact the man is in full compliance, with the Ministry of Transport, yeah, right here, and the rest of them buys and show. You give them a ticket.
Okay, you should.
That's the agreement we have with the police.
Okay.
If they make violence, you give a ticket like any other road.
So after 10 should be considered a violation.
Of course.
That should require the issuance of ticket instead of arresting the member.
Arresting the man bike. That's the agreement we have with the government.
But if you issue ticket to the man, you have to impound the bike.
No.
Deposit the money and comes back.
The agreement here is if he's caught in violation, you give him ticket and hold his driver license.
Okay.
That's the agreement. Now to go buy a motorbike.
Okay.
But guess what? They don't do it. They will demand 5,000, 4,000, 1,500 in private because I don't got that one fine.
Have you been documenting some of these
so many
complaints from your men?
So many.
And they're communicating with the police because at times you go to the police about these things are just speculation. We don't know. Is it that out of fear you refuse or you don't consider making formal complaints to the police authority in the case where Chokon's back is arrested? Chokon has everything, but the only violation is that he's flying the street after 10. That should require the issuance of ticket. And the police may say, "I'm not issuing ticket. You must give me 1,000 or 1,005." You document that, leave the back, goes to the police headquarters and complain that police officer. You ask for an ID number and goes to the police headquarters and complain that person. Don't think that when you guys start complaining formally and documenting your complaints, you will give the police enough reason to act or to chastise their officers. And, then just say, no, we run away from you or attempt to run away because you can arrest our bag and start demanding money.
Also, the thing is that the issue about private in the police is almost like a new normal. Trust me, if you generally choose to investigate or take a camera, that's what video you get.
That's what reality.
So why would I be looking at a new normal and won't be wasting my time thinking complaining on it? It's almost like it's a regular thing. So if I choose to carry police complaint for taking bribe, but the last time the Inspector General grab whole bear for money, what happened to that case?
Now at this point, let's talk about your protest because we'll climb out on your protest. You are clear that the protest started today and is going to continue.
Sure.
It is your demands versus Greg's insistence.
Okay.
Leave the ban. Greg said no adjustment. Return our money, no adjustment. Release our motor